Welcome to the Spunky Spirit Podcast. I'm your host, psychic medium Carrie Muggs. This is where we learn all things spirit, everything from spiritual gifts, awakenings, ghosts, aliens, and starseeds. Nothing is untouchable, but always fun and spunky. I am honored to be on this spiritual journey with you, so make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Spunky Spirit. I am psychic medium Carrie Muggs, and today we're going to talk about finding the magic in the mess, and what exactly does that mean. So, I don't know about you guys, but January, the first part of January has always been a little bit tough, and I think it's because we go through, it starts off with Halloween, right? We have Halloween, and then we have Thanksgiving, a time to be grateful, and to me, Halloween is always like bringing in the fall, and it's time to be grateful, and then we have Christmas, and then we have New Year's, and by the time it's all over, we're exhausted, and add probably a couple birthdays in the mix, and it gets towards the end, and then the thing is you have all of this celebration, and you're supposed to have all these ideas for the new year, and all these things that you want to do, which is fine, but it can be kind of a mess. It can be kind of chaos. It can be kind of stressful. And so, starting all the new year, if you do New Year's resolutions, starting all of that, it can be super stressful. And so I just kind of wanted to help you guys at the beginning of the year find some way to find the magic in the mess, or the joy amidst the chaos, right? The magic amid the chaos. So here is going to be some tips on how to do that, because I'm not going to give you stuff like, oh, you need to meditate. I love meditation and it's great, but a lot of times, sometimes you can't even find the time to do that, right? So this time we're going to find reflect. We're going to reflect. So this year, reflection. We're going to kind of just look at what we've accomplished instead of what is going, what are we going to do? What's coming because here, honestly, if you look and stress about what you're going to do in the future, I'm all for planning, but sometimes it can cause anxiety. And sometimes when you look at the past, if you worry about the past, it can cause depression if you think you should have done things differently. So reflection is a little different. It's not meditating. It's not trying to connect to spirit. It's reflecting on you. Reflection is kind of just an art, or like a pondering of the things that you've done, the things that you want to do, without attaching anxiety to it. This is just creative thought, reflecting on here and now, who you are right now, who you want to become, but know that who you are right now is who you're supposed to be. You're right where you need to be. And that's what I want you to reflect on. I want you to be happy in the moment, happy with where you're at, gratitude for where you're at, and gratitude for how you got there, and gratitude for what's coming. So not looking back as, oh my gosh, I should have done this, or I could have done this better. I want you to find the happy, gratifying moments, instead of saying I should have done this many things, or I should have done this instead. Say, oh my gosh, look at what I've done. Look at what I've accomplished, and look at what is possible for me. So that way it's not attached to any anxiety. It's not attached to goals. It's not attached to consistency. It's not attached to any type of anxiety. It's just in the here and now, living in the moment, reflecting on what is good and what you have gratitude for, and who you really are. Really be truthful with yourself and be like, okay, am I really this person? I've done this and this, and these are my goals, but am I really this person? Are these the things I really want, or is this something that somebody else wants for me? And so it's reflection. I love the word reflection, contemplation. It's kind of the same thing, but it's a useful way to bring in positive changes and think of the positiveness that you've made in the past, and the positiveness, and it will help you let go of some of the things. It'll help you let go of the things that aren't working for you, that aren't being authentic for you. So, reflection is a little bit different than meditation, because reflection it's just a review. It's almost like a life review without any kind of judgment on yourself. It's just saying, this is kind of cool. This is where I'm supposed to be. And remember, you go into this reflection and you can do this just sitting quietly and pondering, and just, you don't have to do a meditation. You can put music on if you like music. If you are a music lover, you can put music on. You can journal it. You can visualize it. You can do whatever you want to. And it's not a meditation where you're going to connect to spirit. It's connecting to you. And so that would make it a little bit easier, so you don't feel pressure, you don't feel. And I know there's a lot of meditators out there, or people out there that can actually meditate without thoughts intruding, but I am not one of those people. And I have intrusive thoughts all the time, and you just have to visualize holding on to those and releasing them into the sky. So put that thought on a balloon and let that balloon go up. So just kind of let it go, try and let it go, or just say, I'm not ready for you yet. Because honestly, I don't think I've ever had any kind of meditation where I absolutely don't have, that I'm not thinking of something. But that being said, I have had meditations where all I see is color, or I hear my guides talking to me, or someone from spirit talking to me. It's always been filled with something, but not my own thoughts. So I guess for me, that's what meditation is just getting rid of my own thoughts and tuning into my guides and my spiritual team. So the concept of finding magic in the amid, the mess, is just reflection. And think honestly too, how do you do this on a daily basis? It's really hard because you get caught up in the work, or you get caught up with the kids, or you get caught up in the family, or you get caught up. So some of us might have a hard time finding the time to reflect, or finding the magic in the mess. So I'm going to add a couple things that maybe you can find throughout the day. And I know this is like, I feel bad because it's like something else you have to do, like add meditation, but maybe just do this like once a week, or maybe just do this when you're feeling overwhelmed, or maybe do this when you're just really tired, and kind of, because you honestly can just lay on your bed and do this 10 minutes before you go to sleep. Just reflect. And if you fall asleep, that's fine. So finding the magic in the mess, sometimes it's hard to look for the joy in the mess. So, I remember lots of times my kids, when I was a young mother, and it would be so chaotic, and it would be kind of hard. And now I look back at some of the VHS tapes or the recordings, or something that they did when they were little, some of the pictures, and I think, I wish I would have enjoyed that more. And I know the mothers out there right now, the young mothers that are hearing that, are just like rolling their eyes. I get it. I totally get it. Because I remember when people used to say to me, oh, you wait, their teenage years are so much harder. And it used to make me cry, because I would be like, why? I can't even deal with this. How can teenagers be harder than this? I can't even deal with this. And I would get so frustrated. And you just have to remember, it's just a difference of, I think when they're younger, the tiredness and the overwhelming is more physical, and when they're teenagers, it's more emotional. And so it's just a different type of raising your kids, or just. The hard thing is I go back now. So what I'm trying to say is, I guess in the middle of some of this chaos, if they get into all the pots and pans and throw them all over the floor, they get into the flour and throw it all over the floor. Try and find the joy in it. Try and find that it's not the end of the world. It's okay. And just try and find the joy in it and say, oh, you know what? This is going to be something I'm going to remember forever. One instance is, I remember my son, it was picture day, and his picture that he came back with was crazy obnoxious. Like he had the craziest face, and I was so mad, and I was going to send the pictures back. I was even mad at the photographer that they even allowed that picture to take that picture and have me pay for it. I was just extremely irritated. And I remember the next morning I got up to send the packet back, and I looked at it and I thought, you know what? I'm going to keep this because this is going to be something I'm going to look back at and this is going to be hilarious. And you know what it is? Every time we get the pictures out, every time we look at the pictures or we reminisce or we reflect, this picture will stand out and I laugh and I laugh. And it makes me realize that I kind of wasted that energy on that being mad, right? And so just be in, just reflect. If there's chaos, try and find some joy in it, even if even if you're kind of depressed or you're overwhelmed, if you're like something small, try and find something. Like if you're just overwhelmed at work and all of a sudden you see a squirrel running across the fence, just be grateful that you saw the squirrel, or just find magic in that moment because you are really where you're supposed to be. And just take a time to reflect. So if you do see that squirrel kind of go across, just be like, okay, what is this? What is this telling me? Am I just supposed to take a time out and reflect? Take those moments and take deep breaths. Not just to ground, just to get your grounding, just to get back in the moment for just a second. Because honestly, when we're in the chaos, it's when we're so stressed out and overwhelmed, we're not in the moment. We're just not in the moment. So, and I agree, we can't do this all the time. You guys, I've had 7 kids. I know I was a single mom at one time, and I have stepkids, and it's hard. Life can get hard. But here's the thing, I think too, is our perspective. I kept just saying, I remember sitting in my closet and just sitting along when we had 7 kids living with us all together, and I remember crying saying, when is it going to be normal again? When is this going to be normal? And because we had just gone through some divorces, both of us, and then we're bringing 7 kids, we had custody of all of them. And I remember trying to go to school at the time too, and I just think and I had this thought come over me, and it was like my guide just rang through and said, this is normal. This is normal. And once you embrace that this is normal, that this is your normal, this is going to be your normal for a little bit, then sometimes it helps it. Just knowing, just 90% of it is just knowing that, okay, this is going to be my normal for a while. So this is how I've got to change my attitude, or this is how I've got to figure out how to have more energy for this. So does that mean I include exercise somehow? Or does this mean that I include coffee more? What does this mean? Because I know I've got to have more energy for this. So how can I change my perspective on this? And also too, I want to give you these words that are also so helpful. This too shall pass. This is not going to be your life forever. What this moment that you're in that's so chaotic, this thing that you're going through is not going to last forever. Like I said, I have 7 kids and they're all all of them right now are going through some life-changing experience. One of them is pregnant. One of them is starting a business. One of them is looking for a new place to live. One of them is going back to school. All of them. And the thing that I constantly try and remember or try and remind them is this will pass. 5 years from now, you're not going to be in this situation. You're going to be in a different one, but you're not going to be in this stress. And I wish I would have known that when I was going through my divorce or when we were trying to raise the 7 kids. This will pass. This too shall pass. So if you can, try and find the gleaming moments in it, the happy moments in it, the joyful moments in it, even if it's something small as your son gets in the cabinet and puts flour all over your furniture, maybe the happy joy, or writes in marker all over your furniture, maybe the joy in that moment is that you have that art or that you get to buy a new couch now. So try and find the joy in each moment and know that this is going to pass. Now, some things that help when you reflect or you ponder. Sometimes it's hard to find the joy. So sometimes I'm going to give you a few ideas on how to bring that creativeness out in you or bring that reflection out in you or just be still and enjoy the moment for a minute. And when I say enjoy the moment and live in the now, I tell my clients all the time, Spirit wants you to live in the now. Spirit wants you to live because that's when they can easily get to you or talk to you or communicate with you or connect with you. So my goal is to try and get you to, amid the chaos, reflect and be in the now. That doesn't mean, I mean, you can be in the now when you meditate, but sometimes you're so consumed with trying to connect that it's harder. So we're just going to call it reflection. Reflection on what's going on in your life at the time, right? Without any kind of anxiety. So another way that you can kind of reflect or get creativity or live in the now is to read. This could be any kind of science, any kind of book, that gets you pumped, or any kind of book that tells a story that you want to live through. You know what? Anything that gives you creative imagination, or write a story. Write a story. I remember during one of my classes we had to use our imagination and we had to write a story. And mine, of course, was about a dragon and a princess and all that stuff. So, also to explore. So when you do write a story, explore different, or go outside in your backyard and explore. Go walk down the street, take a walk, just be outside in the sun or in nature or in the grass. Or sometimes I know if I get super overwhelmed, I will get in my car and I will drive to Island Park and sit at the banks of Coffee Pot Campground, because that's where I feel close to my dad. Oh my gosh, I can't believe my mom was choking up. That's where I feel close to my dad, and that's where I feel close to spirit, and that's where I reflect. I don't meditate, I just reflect. Like, how can I make this better? Or without any type of expectancy attached to it. So create something with your hands. At my retreat, I put in the swag bags, I put Play-Doh, because I am not kidding you. The one thing, I have a little granddaughter who three grandkids, but one of them especially loves Play-Doh. And I have realized playing Play-Doh with her has helped me just be in the now. It helps me it's creative, it's fun, it's just something to do. So make Play-Doh, do something right. I mean, create something with your hands. This is gardening. This is something out in nature. Play-Doh, sewing. My grandma loved to sew. So just different things that you create with your hands. Also, brainstorm ideas. Just sit and have a brainstorming session. Just write down everything that comes to your head. Don't even judge it. Not just write down everything that comes to your head. Just put at the top how to do this, and just write a bunch of ideas and see what helps you. Go look at an art museum. Go to a museum and look at art. Sometimes that can be pretty creative. For me, music helps me a ton. I have been listening over and over again to the song Go the Distance that's on the Hercules thing, but it's by a different band, because I've just been so overwhelmed lately, and I even made a reel about it on Instagram. That's my song right now. That's just my theme song. Every few weeks or every few months I have a different theme song, and that's my theme song. And when I get overwhelmed or sad, or like just so I feel like I can't do it anymore, I put on that theme song. Good ones are ones you can dance to too. Colors are good. You can do colors with Play-Doh. You can color with crayons. You can draw with crayons, color with crayons. Sometimes those adult coloring books can give me anxiety, so I don't really do those, because I just want it to be perfect, and I don't have the attention span to color in those books, so I don't have the attention span to do that. But some people do, and it does. My aunt Brenda used to love to color, and I know it's because it helped her meditate. It helped her reflect. Take pictures. Go outside with your phone and take pictures of the different things around you, and then like play with different filters with them and see if you can change them and create art with that. And like if you have to go to work, even something as small as taking a different route to work, taking a different way of scenery. Sometimes we get so like I remember when I used to work in Rigby in Idaho, I worked at a company called Climb, and I used to, when I would drive out there, that would be my meditation time. That would be my time to think. And sometimes you just needed to take a different route of scenery, because different sceneries will connect with because you get in that meditative state and it just comes natural to you. And sometimes when you take a different route, you have to think. It puts you in the now. So, and another thing too, and I didn't really love this one, but some of the things is, sometimes when you're stuck and you don't know how to to do things or you don't know what to do, you can look at how other people do things, and you don't copy them, but you make it your own. You make it your own. Steve Jobs was brilliant at doing this. He would look at what other people would create or what other people would do, and he would put his own spin on it. A lot of the things that he did were not his idea. It was somebody else's, and he made it his own, or he created it to be his own. So that's a really, really, I mean, that's, you just look at what other people are doing, look at what your mentors are doing, and don't necessarily copy them. Just say, okay, how can I turn this and do a different spin on this? So, and I've taken courses before and thought, okay, I can do it this way and I can do it this way. I don't copy the exact course. I rearrange it to mine, but that's kind of an example of how to do things. So what I want you to do today is I want you to, or sometime this week, I want you to, or sometimes next week, I want you to make a point of reflecting on the last year, reflecting on last week, reflecting on your life, and see how far you've come, and know that, and do not get discouraged, and do not do not connect this to any anxiety. Just look at it like a movie that you're watching, and just reflect on your life and look at ways that how you can bring yourself more into being in the now and enjoying the now. Because I promise you, when you look at the now and you kind of live in the now, you're going to be more connected to you. You're going to be more connected to spirit, and you're going to be more connected to what's going on. And if you are in a really hard time of your life right now, just remember that this too shall pass. And life is magical, and there's always, always magic. I remember one picture I saw, I think Joel Osteen talked about this. He was talking about a picture, and there's a storm. It's a picture of this brutal, brutal storm. And in the corner of the picture is a mother bird, and she's sheltering a baby bird. So the baby has peace. She's sheltering the baby bird with her wing. And the mom is holding on to the storm. The mom's getting the rain and getting all this on her. She's weathering the storm, and the baby is in the comfort and in the safe. And I just want you to remember that bird is your spiritual team. Do not feel alone. They are with you. They are putting their wings around you. They are hovering over you, and they are helping you. And you may not feel it, but they are. And they know the power that you have, and they know how magical you are. And right now, they're just helping you get through this time, or get through this, or help you to find perspective in this chaos, or in this storm, or whatever it is that you're in. And they're helping you to live in the now and to live in the moment. So try and remember that these wings are surrounding you and covering you, and this too shall pass. This will not be your life forever, and a lot can change in 2 days. A lot can change in 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, 2 minutes. Your life can change. So just know that this will pass. So I just want you guys to know that I love you. You have everything that you need inside of you. And if you, I'm trying to think of things. I have a lot of things coming up this year. Lots of retreats. I don't have lots of retreats. I have different specific retreats. So I do have a Sacred Soul retreat that I'm going to do. And then I'm working on doing grief retreats, a grief retreat for people who have lost loved ones. And also too, I'm looking at group readings, lots of merchandise coming up in my store, lots of things coming down the pipeline. And so just stay tuned and watch. It's not all out right now because I am also in this storm of trying to figure it all out and trying to make it work. So hopefully you guys will stay tuned and see all the magic that happens this year. And you know what else? If you guys have a word, I know a lot of people pick a word. I always like the word magic, but I think I picked magic last year. So I'm having a hard time picking the word for this year because I just don't know if my word will stay the same all year because I go through different cycles. We talked about this last week. So if you have a word, let me know what it is. I want to get some ideas on what the word, like different words that I want to go through at that time. I might choose a different word for the month, actually, every month, because I don't like to stay with the same word all year long. So I love you guys. I mean it. And I hope you guys know that the magic is always inside you. If you liked this Monkey Spirit podcast and you think it can help somebody else, please push subscribe so you can never miss an episode. And also share it with your friends and let them know. Share this if you know it's going to help somebody else. And I thank you